Hey guys, what's going on? It's Yason. Welcome to another live. Hope you are excited as I am, because I'm about to talk on a very hot topic with Aglaya, a new friend, music and spirituality, and how you can become a better musician if you practice meditation and other spiritual practices. Hey, my friends from Crete. Escape in action. Juan, hey, welcome to the chat, to the room. Welcome to the live. We're going to have a great conversation. So if you are free, stay with me. I have a beautiful guest from America, Aglaya, all the way from Miami, piano teacher, lots of things to share on music and spirituality. Very hot topic. If you know me, you know how spiritual I am and how it is. I don't know if you know how much it has helped me, but it had definitely helped me. All right. So my guest is here. Hey, I was so excited. Bo.
Hello.
I love how are you? Oh,
Hi, I'm good. Finally.
yeah. You know what they say, if something is really good, there is a lot of interference.
Right? I mean, but we're here. Love the pink color.
Thank you, thank you. It's the love card, you know.
So good to see you. We've been planning this for quite a while, so I'm finally very glad to see you here, and I hope that we actually gonna keep in touch even more often, like outside of uh Instagram reality.
I love that. Of course, I would love to talk with you. Well, you're a bright person, and I'm a fan, and I'm so happy and excited to talk with you. I love your glow today. Congrats.
Very much. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
So let's set the tone. We had a few ideas of what we wanted to talk about. So tell me, what would you want to kick in with? Let's maybe like introduce ourselves to those that are not familiar with you and those that are not familiar with me. I think that'd be nice to say a few words. Do you want to share more about yourself and your work?
I would like to hear from you first, if you don't mind.
Okay. Ladies first. So, first of all, I am honored to be here today with this wonderful person. I have here in the same room with me someone who's actually hosting, but like I'm taking a bit of initiative. This great composer, and you're one of the people that greatly inspire me. And it was like very interesting that we would start talking about the music first, and then I watched a few lives that you had here with wonderful musicians and performers, and I was like, oh my god, like this really hit the point for me. And that let's talk more about it. And then you would send like a few messages that absolutely hit the spot. And I was like, I cannot believe that we're even more connected. We're not surprised than we thought we are. And so I'm just like so happy to be here with you. So my name is Aglaya. I usually start with introducing myself as a musician, as someone who plays and teaches piano, someone who is like very creative individual, and I also am an art therapist. And like I don't think we ever arrive to the point when we know like who we truly are. I think as long as we take this road and continue exploring ourselves and learning more, it's like great and beautiful path to follow called life. So, and can you please now share a little bit about yourself? I've got less time and I want to share more.
Beautiful. I love. I want to say something about art therapy. You know, art can be very therapeutic. So this is great what you do. It's really great. All right. I love what you said about everything that you do. And in my turn, I would like to share a few things about me. I am a pianist and composer and producer from Greece. I spend my time writing music with the purpose to heal. If you don't know it yet, my name stands for healer in ancient Greek. And in a way, I serve a purpose to channel light through sound, as I like to call it. We are yeah, I'm not gonna start yet about the spiritual things yet, but it's tempting. Uh, yes, and I enjoy being a creative and share this gift that I have, this gift that I have with the world, and being very happy that it has an impact, and more people are attracted and find what I share useful. So yeah, and I will be doing this until I die, probably. So this is so yes,
Aw,
yeah, it's
it's a
this needed
journey.
blessing. You know, I wake up and I cry, and I sleep, I cry from joy. There's nothing that happens every day. You know, it's things are going in one way, and and when you are, doing what you love, and you also can get money out of it, you can eat by serving other people. That's a blessing, and we have to be grateful for our blessings. That's small prologue for what we're going to talk about. you know.
You know, I actually like, as we discussed a little bit, and no, like I was sending you these messages today. This is like a little bit behind the scene information, right? Like what we're going to talk about. And then I was like, hold on a second. Everything that we've shared before and like knowing like what our beliefs are, I'm like, we just had to trust the flow and, like just the flow of this conversation. And I was just like, as I was, preparing for this life and then like had a few lessons here, I was like, that is probably why you didn't say anything up to the point of it. And I was like, thinking about it this morning because I was so looking forward to connecting with you. And I was like, okay, what are we going to talk about? What will be the subject? And then I'm like, that's why he doesn't even talk about it because it's like, we're going to follow the flow. And something that you just talked about right now, I think is the point that a lot of people are struggling with actually following their heart and the voice of their intuition or their minds, right? And we don't want to discount our mind and beautiful brain work, but I think that's something that is happening right now. I'm happy that like we live in these times when we experience this beautiful shift and we all can like join in this like flow of creation and become the creators. And I think this is a very important subject to discuss is like how to follow your heart. So I don't think I've ever asked you, but can you please share, and I can share a bit more on my journey. When did you know that through music and the creation and through the creative and the music, and like bringing so much joy to other people, when did you know that was your calling and you were like, I'm good? It doesn't really matter what other people say, like I'm good. And if you actually experienced any resistance in this process.
You know, a very beautiful memory that I have since I was a child. It was when I was 8 years old, and I started having piano lessons at the Conservatorium of Athens. And, it was one specific day that it remains on my mind all this time, all these years. And my parents had an argument about something, and I was in some emotional disturbance. And I went to the piano lesson. After the piano lesson, I came out happy. And this just shook my world and gave me the impression that, oh my God, this will do. It makes me happy even in the tough times. So this might be it. And then the impressive thing about my life and how it came out in reality, how it manifested in reality, is that I took a huge break of years and years without playing piano. And I came back and I started composing and trusting because I really felt called, especially close to the pandemic when we had more time to be with ourselves and our thoughts all alone.
Mhm.
And you know, a creative person needs space to create, and I had just that, and it served me in the best possible way this pandemic. It was a big blessing for me, and I want to say something else. It relates to what you just said before. Uh, where you told me how we can follow our hearts, and I love this quote by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He says that where focus goes, energy flows. So if you pay close attention where you put your focus, where you put your mind to, you can control in a way your reactions, your the outcome of what the results of your life. So if you if you focus on, for example, let's talk about uh, anxiety.
Mhm.
What is anxiety? Anxiety is when you are disconnected from the present moment.
Mhm.
You're not grounded. When you're anxious, you're not grounded. You're thinking something else that it's probably in the future or in the past, and you have lost the connection with the present moment. Uh, but if you consciously try to bring your awareness in the present moment, and one way is to focus on the breath, it can help you, regain control of the situation and of the of the situation that's you're experiencing at the moment, and stress is instantly gone. And I think, yeah. What do you think about that? How how do you how do you deal with anxiety and stuff like that?
I know that this is, yeah, one of the things that we also wanted to discuss. I'm very interested in discussing, and that's something that, uh, you actually helped me to understand better is, the process of performance. I was like, oh my God, I've been like playing the piano, getting on stage my entire life. I've been actually encouraging my students and giving them all the possible tools that they love performing because I did not like it. And yet he could like beautifully form this like concept for me. Uh because like I've been always like thinking, what's behind my fear? What's behind this like stage fright? Can I continue referring to my teachers that happened, God knows, 20 years ago that were not as gentle, possibly, or whatever? They're going to stay on their side of the road. I cannot, as a grown up woman, as a professional musician, continue putting responsibility on those actions that happened, that were performed towards me like so many years back, right? So this is my responsibility to figure that out. And as a mindful person, as a conscious person who's like learning how to be actually, because I'm in the process for me to journey, uh, it was like I really love the way you put it. It's like the beautiful quote that you just pronounced, like same type of thing, like why I'm there, why I'm performing, who I'm trying to impress. Are you in this like act of performance? Like how do you perceive that? How do you perceive yourself in this moment? And I'll ask you to like place it in words that you did, but it was just like such a beautiful insight for me, in the moment. And I was like, I absolutely love it. And I think it's just like amazing, like that, like we can really redirect our energy. So can we talk a bit more about that? Because you're a composer and you enjoy performing actually. So can you give this advice? Because I think that a lot of students, a lot of musicians, a lot of people that perform but have major anxiety doing that would really like benefit from that advice, because I think it's one of the
Yes.
most challenging.
Yes. Before we try to solve something, we have to understand all the parameters of this subject. So anxiety is not something that it comes from its own. It's something that it has its roots on fear. So fear. Why do I fear? You have to make the right questions to yourself. What am I afraid of so much? Is this something really to make me be scared? Really something? Is it real or is it just in my head? So you just get this topic, get the situation in your heads and look at it closely, and you realize there's nothing to to make you go out of balance. There's It's just in my mind. So when you practice that before a concert, before the moment of test, because it's a big test, there are lots of people. Usually most people are attached in their mind, so they have their little voice inside their head, so they're always observing what the mind is saying, and most they identify with that voice. So what if I fuck up? If people don't like the way I play? They think all the wrong things because they turn that brings more anxiety because they turn their attention to the negative. So it expands, the negative expands. So we just take our distance in a controlled environment and practice over time, becoming present and becoming aware of if an emotion of anxiety arrives or fear, to just observe it and disconnect from it. Place our attention to the love that it's always inside us. This is how you beat this. I say, and trust me, the first times it's challenging because you are used to it. You're used to
Oh yeah. Go
attached
into
to
like
it.
fear mode. Yeah. Yeah.
It happened to me. I tried to play. I played the concert, and before I come up to the stage, I was anxious, and I just took my breath. It doesn't. You don't have to be perfect. Just have to persist, even when no matter how the anxiety persists, you persist more, and you overcome yourself. That's all about it. And and when it happens, and when you win, oh my God, it,
Mhm.
it's a great gift. Dispenza says, when you overcome yourself, you will impress yourself. And trust me, that impression is what gives you more confidence to keep overcoming yourself and keep creating the yourself and your reality that you will want to live. So it's not about how to overcome fear. It's it's about forgetting fear and choosing love. Simple. Such a clear uh, path in my mind. We have to forget about fear. Fear does not exist. You know what they say? Fear, FEAR, false evidence of appearing real. It doesn't exist. So why should we pay our attention to something that it doesn't exist? Let's forget about it. Let's focus on love. It's right here.
Same place, actually. Isn't it interesting that like we experience anxiety in the same exact same place where we experience this sense of love and warmth and excitement, and it's just like it's about like replacing that. Again, easier said than done in some moments. You know how like all the musicians get on the stage and their fingers just like I was just like warming up. What is going on? And my fingers just you know not cooperating in the moment.
You know what you can do? I can give you a big, very effective tip that will instantly give you some boost of energy in the specific area. Most of the times when you're anxious before you perform, your heart is beating faster, right? Because your fight or flight system activates, and
Right.
you're anxious. you're ready to fight, so your heartbeat raises. You can, I don't know if you guys familiar with this. There is a technique called tapping.
Yeah.
Tapping is great. It gives you such great energy instantly. Just for example, if you are afraid before a concert, just use these fingers and tap to the collarbones right here. Alternative, alternative, and just breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, and do it for 30 seconds. And trust me, if you don't feel well after this, I don't know what else to tell you to do. You know, there are things that are working. You are not aware of it yet, possibly. If you are, they're good for you. You can help yourself to become who you want to be.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think, like whatever methods, whatever tools everyone has to, like that they've been using and that help them, because for each and every person is different type of things. Some can say that when they're anxious or when they're going through stress in their life, maybe for them it's not yet, or maybe not ever, a spiritual practice or like a tap, breathing or listen to music, as it can be for us. It can be for some people, it can be like going to the gym and like to work out, right? So like I think that'd be nice if maybe like people that would watch this video, maybe if they would leave some comments below, like what's their way of dealing like with anxiety. Because like I also feel often, I just like, I don't know, like have this thought right now that is like, I guess it's not random, it's just like coming to me right now, that we live in this day and age where being healthy, being joyous, being happy every day is very much pronounced, and nobody actually ever says that they're not doing well, and which is absolutely normal state of mind. Doesn't mean that you're gonna get all in with this in the darkness, right? But we all have our dark side and our bright side, and that's fine. And if you're gonna continue denying that part of you, which is very much a part of you, then I mean, we know what's gonna happen. It's gonna just block you and prevent you from like continue your development, your soul development, if that's something that you're actually pursuing, that you're interested in. And like another thing that I wanted to share, just like going back to my first question that we kicked this conversation with, is this like inspiration of like when I understood that I wanted to like pursue this like career in music. And it's very interesting that it also happened to me at the very early age. And you've mentioned that it came to you through this like stressful experience, like hearing your parents being in conflict. And for me, and that like your teacher found the way to like music to soothe you and make you happy through that experience. Like for me, unfortunately, a few experiences that I had with my first teachers was something that spiked my interest to become a teacher, and it's very interesting. I think like hearing me out, it's a great reminder that again, I bet you and whoever listens to us, we're all going through different moments in our life. But do not look at it and it's like, oh, because it's a huge promotion right now of redirecting yourself from the experience. No, go into it, because sometimes that experience can actually be leading you to a brighter path, or to your manifested path, or to something that you're actually looking forward to experiencing. So for me, going through that experience with those teachers that were probably are not in a happy place in their life, or were not satisfied with who they were, this is prompting that like myself being 5, 6, 7 years old, sitting there thinking, oh my God, I'm going to become a teacher and I'm going to be so different. I'm going to definitely treat my students with love and with respect, because I could not like wrap my mind around the concept of like forcing me to play certain pieces. Now I look at it as an adult, or like as a musician, as a piano teacher, teaching for more than 15 years at this point. I'm like, why would I force someone into playing a certain piece? when they're like literally like millions of pieces, classical, non-classical, whatever makes it.
Oh, I love that. I love that because maybe I have a different approach. Maybe.
Do
Maybe.
you
No. You know, I had influences from a very strict professor lately,
really?
but it's really interesting because I'm not that strict. I'm just forming my teaching self right now, and it's interesting because I choose which elements and qualities to take, keep, and which to toss away. Uh, you know, if I would like to share my opinion on this, I think to develop technique, there are specific pieces that the teacher knows that if you do them, even if you don't want to do them, will help you, and that's called discipline. To do what you don't want to do,
European approach.
it's a good.
It's
Like,
like okay. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, you cannot develop a technique if you playing only Ludovico and Audi pieces. There's some types of pieces of music that were made for specific reasons for developing technique. And this, I understand if you don't like it, but you know, uh, to get what you want to get, you have to do things that you don't like in some situations. And it's a good training for you because guess what? What else is not feeling good? Cold shower. But you know how great it is for your health? It's the best thing. I cold shower every day. And I never want to do it, but I do it. It's a good thing because it trains you to overcome difficult situations. You don't back up at all. Just just do it. You know, it's a very interesting topic because I think it's definitely necessary to do to study and learn music with that with interesting pieces, with interesting elements and pieces. Yeah, uh, because you have to love what you do, so you have to study something inspiring. But music is not only happy, you know. You have to do the work. It's a two side part. I think that's my opinion. I don't know what.
No, absolutely. I agree with you. And I usually give this example of people just signing up for the gym and going there and expecting an amazing results. Like a new possible. You gotta exactly commit. But like my point, the point that I was trying to make, because like if we're gonna talk, maybe we'll have a separate live stream. I'd love that about that, right? There are some pieces, if we talk about classical pieces, right? And the pieces that truly, as you said, elevate your understanding of music, elevate your technique skills, and help you to develop as a pianist, as a musician. Absolutely agree with you. I guess what I was trying to say, the point that I was trying to make, that there are so many pieces there. You don't need to assign a prelude of Johann Sebastian Bach from like a certain study and say that this is the only one I can play and this is the only one piece that will help me to develop that certain skill. I think that on that one piece, there are like literally thousand other pieces. And thank you, Johann Sebastian Bach, and like his sister, his wife, and everyone. She like left this legacy for us. I guess that was my point, and I think this is like one of the important elements of our craft as a teachers, because you know that you classically trained, you know that you and I, we can grab a few books and just like follow it step by step and get your students to music school of Athens, and I can get someone, could have gotten someone to like St. Petersburg Moscow Conservatory back to when I was living in St. Petersburg, Russia, or like here to Juilliard. We know that. But I guess my point that like, and as our subject today, something that like interests both of us and is very important. I guess if you do it with joy, which is possible, even practicing hours, I think that be truly possible to develop those skills, because later on in my learning process, I was like very fortunate to get like lessons from I don't know if you've heard of like Andrew Fachoff. I would assume that you have heard of him. It's a great Russian composer who wrote like a music you would definitely recognize because like Elijah's pieces used as a study even here in all the music schools, like for writing music for movies. And that what that meant was all about. Because like my latest teacher before I enrolled to college, she was amazing in that way. And she would sit and make an effort that literally for an hour they played these and would say, I which ones you like connect the most. And I can practice hours with that piece. I guess that's my point, like, and I don't want like for a second make grade students to see that the play pieces that they do not enjoy because like the tons of pieces. That's why classical music often associated with something that is draining, something that is boring. And we know, we'll look at like lots of pieces of like Beethoven and Bach and Mozart that could not sound more relevant to this very minute. You know what I mean? So I guess if for the work for us teachers to be really I guess just reciprocative to our students' needs and learn about their taste and help them to get from A to B to C to X, Y, Z, like with the joy. And that's something that I was struggling with in the learning process and something that I'm putting so much effort right now as a teacher. So, yes, and I'm sure that in your teaching process, you're doing the same thing because it's quite a drain. And if you learn a piece that is just something that you're not connected with, because we'll have this experience.
Well, you just reminded me of a quote by Sadhguru. I don't know if you're familiar.
Oh, I love him. I love this me. And he's so long.
Great sense of humor as well.
Yeah.
An idiot, he says, does what he doesn't want to do. An intelligent person does what he loves, so he's happy. And
Yeah.
and but when someone does what he has to do with joy, then his genius blossoms.
There you go. That's the point.
This is all that you're talking about. You have
Mm.
you have to have the right people that will give you the right material with the right way, which is with joy and love and compassion and understanding. And that will help you to learn what you really came to learn. Music, love. This is the thing. So thank you for bringing this up. This is a great topic, yeah. Sure.
I don't think that I could put it a better way and see you had this like immediate response of our like males that, oh my God, I love him. A friend of mine in California, she's known him before he was the Sadhguru that the world knows, and she knows him on the personal level. Oh my God, this man. And she just went on like recently to, she's like, training program in Nepal. I think it was about a half a year ago, and I'm like, I just really, really want to go one day. I'm trying to be in his like proud.
Right, let's go. Pack your bags and let's go. Guru.
Let's go walk out with me. Let's go. So I could have put it a better way. You can even like I would appreciate if you would put that quote in the description of this video because I think it's like one of the things that are very important. And the reason that like a lot of people actually quit the art of playing the piano because sometimes, I mean, and we can say that like, oh, you gotta continue working, you gotta continue spelling out. But as a teacher, it is also our responsibility. It's like 50-50. I always tell my students it's 50-50 effort, but it's a huge responsibility on our shoulders, especially if we just introduce music to someone for the first time. Because like I was resistant to the approach that I had at first. And this like Soviet Union approach was pretty tough, and I'm just like, I think my soul knew from the beginning that that's the path that I wanted to take. And that's something that was predestined for me. But unfortunately, not something that, like happens with everyone. I really would love to touch on the subject of composition, because we have this pro and guru here, and I really want to hear your thoughts, and I guess whatever will channel for you at the moment. How does it come to you? Because for me, it also has in this like a subject of fusionist. I need to be well rested. I need to have my favorite candles all over around me, like beautiful flowers, like everything. I need to have the environment. But as my friend says, who is a professional composer, she goes like, well, Aglaya, I would not be able to cover my bills then if I was waiting for that magical moment. So can you please share, how does it come to you? When did you compose your first piece? How did that happen? And do you really tune into it? Or is this something that you can do at any state of being at any given point? I'm very curious about that. At the very end, it seems you could give all of us who like actually have this spark, but do not know how to tap into it from time to time.
Well, it's very interesting. One very important thing is the environment. You have to create the environment in which you will feel comfortable and inspired to create before you even start creating. Before, so you see what you like and you put it in your environment. You put inspiration around you. Plants are great uh, inspiration and also energy because they are large.
Can you please repeat it? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
The first one, please. It said.
The the environment is very important, and also flowers and plants are alive beings that are emitting energy in the space, so they uplift the energetic field, the frequency of the room, so it affects your brain as well, even if you don't notice it or anyone. uh, and it calms your nervous system. So when you are a creator and you compose, you want that peace. Uh, because if the creativity is a frequency, creation is a frequency, art is a frequency, everything is a frequency, and you have to tune in. A nice way that it happens to me, a beautiful way that it happens to me when I create, is by sitting and playing piano and practicing other pieces.
There you go.
Completely different. I don't say I will compose. I'm just practicing one piece, for example, Chopin, and it just play around. I let myself, I allow myself to be free at the moment, and it just play with some chords, and sometimes I listen something that comes from Chopin, and it's different. It's something that comes from somewhere, and I just follow it and develop it and I play it, and suddenly you have a piece. It's like from nowhere, and it's amazing because it's magic. It's just in the middle of nowhere. It's just you have something that is real from nowhere, and then other time that's one way that it comes inspiration. Other times it's very clear. When I meditate, I listen to a whole piece or a part of it very clearly, with great clarity inside my head. And I say, this is it. All right. So then I run to the piano. Lots of times before I fall asleep, I meditate. And uh, it comes to me. When it comes, I just jump out the bed.
To go to sleep.
I have to record it, or else you know what they say, when you don't act on your idea. This is Rick Rubin. He says, when you don't act on your ideas, someone else will get it, because ideas are floating around in this current, and they're flowing. And so if you don't fix it, if you don't pick it, someone else will pick it. The same idea. It's so interesting how it explains how we're all connected in a way, uh, behind the materialistic reality, and it's just fascinating. So yeah, you have to be, so a Greek poet once said it like, if you want to become a writer, you have to sharpen your pencils every day. You just have to sit at your desk at your environment, at your place of work, and sharpen your pencils, your instruments, piano. Just get involved every day, and this inspiration will come. That's it. And another type of composition is just to intellectualize it with music theory, which I don't do very often, but I intend to, because if you combine this freedom from this world that I'm in now with music theory and and uh, and uh, and knowledge about the music, you can make masterpieces and take it on like another level. Yeah. Uh,
This is fascinating, and like, and actually, like a lot of what you've listed right now from your experiences. This is something that I use with my students. I don't remember if I mentioned that, but I do teach composition. I do teach creative composition. And something that you mentioned, I say, guys, the first most important thing is to record your idea, because sometimes it just like comes to you, and we know that like we all are actually a big part of this like energy and ideas and creative field. And as you said, those ideas just like flow, and you gotta go record it. And like with my younger students, actually my younger students are being more responsible about it. They go like, oh, let's record it. I was posting this video a few days ago, like how my student, she just got 4 years old, just turned 4 recently, got into this flow, and oh my God, the music was like just coming out like beautifully, And I said it's important to record it, and as you said, my older students record, my younger students record, my adult students, compose. And I have this wonderful student who's in his early 30s, and he's incredibly gifted composer that I always like try to give an extra push to, and trying to like inspire him. But I always say, getting back to your point, it's like it's like drawing, it's like using your colors and whatever you want to use, create a beautiful painting. You need to have those colors, so you need to understand how the chords work, how the music theory works, because if you have this powerful creative flow really streaming through your soul, and plus you have those nice tools that you're aware of and that you adopt and that you use, oh my God, as you said, you can't just like create this external, internal beauty, it's just got to be this like never ending process. You're absolutely right. And that's what I always see. And that's what I'm trying to provide my students with. And another thing, can we talk about like time? Because my everlasting excuse is like, I don't have time for it. So like, what would be your advice as a professional musician? Because this guy, he's like literally like out there creating this like big music. So how to find time for it when we find ourselves in this stream of life and like always running around?
I love this question. You're such a good speaker. You're just so on point. I really admire that.
I am my podcast. Have I mentioned that? Can you be my first guest there?
Oh shit! Really? I would love that. Yeah.
Like water, as we're like non-drinkers, like water. So that'd be wonderful. I would love to have you there. So please share away for all of us who do not have time for things that matter the most.
You said I'm very cautious with what your words you are using. The words are spells are very important, because with what we say we become and what we think. And so you said how someone does find the time to to practice and compose or whatever. You don't find it. You create it. So simple. You don't find it. You create it. You prioritize. You prioritize what's important for me. If something is important for you, isn't it so that you will create, you will find, if you want, the time to do it? So for me, as I would like to do it in my life, in my reality. I I have a list of things. I'm very organized, and it helps my mind to stay relaxed uh, because I know what I have to do. My mind works perfectly. I prioritize self-care first, like 2, 3 hours in the morning, all on me. Uh, and then the second important thing, piano. That's it. And then I don't have to worry about if I don't have time or not. Just first, no matter what, I'm not even answering phone calls. I'm nothing, nothing. Everybody in my life outside after I finish that. So to you have to protect. You have to be protective of this space, especially of this 3 first hours, to include in your day what you want to become better at. And first of all is yourself and your mental health and your physical health, and then it's this thing that you are passionate about learning. Because when you wake up, your brain and your system has the most energy in the first hours, and you need this energy when you are learning something. You cannot be learning something in the evening or at night. It's much difficult. It's much more difficult. Some people, for some people, it works and it's acceptable, but
Yeah, it does, right?
the science says that in the morning you have more energy. And I don't drink coffee. I don't drink coffee.
I get you.
You know?
I don't need this negativity in my life. I need coffee. So it's okay. I'm not gonna answer that question. I don't want to share like a because the other okay, let me give you all the tea on that coffee.
You know. I mean, we are adults. We have the freedom to choose what we like to do and what we don't. Yeah, it doesn't serve me well. It causes me more troubles than goods. So I just decided it's outside of my life. But it's important to do what you love to do first. So the excuses, your mind can come with the greatest excuses. Can you be, uh, uh, that's a great quote. Can you be bigger than your biggest excuse?
Mhm.
And how you do that by programming your day before the day before you live the plan. Just sit down and write and set your intention. Intention is one of the most powerful things in the world. When you listen to yourself and you decide with great will that and intention what you want to do and you do it, you you're the best. You're winning. There's nothing. No one can stop you but you. So just
Never had.
just yeah. Clarity. People have messed up are messing up their lives because they don't have any clarity. They don't know what they want. You know how you can do that? How you can find what you want? Take the time to create it. If you feel like lost, take your time. Just sit by yourself and observe your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, everything that what's happening inside you. Because guess what? Your external reality is literally a mirror of your internal world, of your internal situation. So if you are a person that creates excuses, that's something probably that derives from the inside. You don't love yourself so much, possibly. You don't give yourself time. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's a great topic.
Actually, no, I totally agree with you. And I think this is something that like a lot of people will relate to, whatever it comes down to, not only to the subject of the creativity and spirituality, but whatever it comes down to, And
Yeah.
I remember that, I mean, this year, literally, of all years, I had this like a beautiful insight. I remember talking to my friend, and she's incredibly insightful and spiritual. And I was going and on this like subject, also like not understanding which direction to take in terms of my creativity. And I would say something that I was saying right now, and say, like, I do not know like what to do next. And she was like, well, we're in this place that you pronounce in of not knowing that, and you pronounce that and pronounce that and pronounce that and pronounce that. And guess what? That's what like universe responds to. You don't know and you don't know and you don't know. Okay, you continue not knowing. And I was like, wow, this is right. And I swear, I'm not gonna like come out to like a great guru because again, I'm a humble student. But I swear, guys, this is the way it works. It's like once I said, oh my, because sometimes we don't even understand that like the desire or the manifested reality that we see. It's not like manifested receipt. It's a process, but it's just like kind of leading in the vibration of creative process, not like pronouncing that. It like kind of like pushing it down with your like doubts and fears and like not knowing, but like really pronouncing that I'm in this process of creativity and I'm observing it as it comes to me, as it flows my way. I swear, like the minute I had this insight, my book, like that I'm working right now on writing my book for the beginners, and I swear all the teachers out there that I am connected with, they know that it's been a long process. That I swear I had a script for 5 books right away. I sat one evening and I just like typed it and I was like, oh my God, where has this been? Where, well, it's been like intentionally rejected by who? By myself. No, this is you absolutely right. The way we think, whatever we pronounce into that world, because a lot of people do not understand that for universe, there's no negative or positive. Whatever you say, you receive and pronounce into your given moment. So that's why I guess like I also like Esther Hicks. You probably listen to like her like Abraham channeling, and that's what she says. She goes like, no, of course we're going to a different experience, but just like redirect of like getting you into this like state, and blessed you will be. So I think it's a beautiful conclusion to our almost an hour conversation.
All right, and I can go for another hour if you have the time.
I know we should do it again.
Yeah, so relax. This is beautiful. You have great energy and it keep me going. It's amazing. It's not happening always, This is a blessing. Thank you.
My
I just want to say something at the end about spirituality. What is spirituality? People talking about spirituality and they don't know what it is. Even I didn't know because when you enter in a world that's new, you just absorb. Sometimes it's a lot. But what is spirituality? Spirituality for me, and as I know, is a quality of our being. We, as I like to say and believe and know, it's we are spiritual beings having a human experience. I'm sure you know it, right? We're not human beings having a spiritual experience. So what does that mean? Spiritual. Spiritual means the quality of ours or more, the longing for more, and not the ego's agenda for more things, for more stuff. It's all this need inside of us to learn things about our nature, like the big philosophical questions. Why exist? All these things. This is our spirituality, the longing for more, and yeah, I think it's just the spirituality also begins when you accept that you know that you don't know. When you accept even a wise man knows he doesn't know. You it's you learn. There's so many things to learn in this life, but you really don't know shit. Nobody. It's it's a beautiful journey to self-realization and just uh, and enjoy this journey, this beautiful journey with this power that we have inside of us to create the realities of our desires, of our dreams. this is just a game. It's a nice game that we should enjoy. Uh, and yeah, music, man, music is just another beautiful gift. And I think with related to spirituality, because as beings, we are, you know, we are nothing but energy, and energy is sound. Sound is vibration, and music, it has this power. We have there is a to affect us and tune us in a specific frequency. So because of there is a system inside of us who mimics the environment in a way. There are mirror neurons inside of us, uh, and there's a similar process when we hear something, we feel it. It really makes our brain sense, our sense in our whole body to vibrate in that frequency that we listen to. This is just a magic, you know. Uh, that's how powerful music is. When you hear something, it alters not your only emotional state, your physiological state.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So your body changes literally from the inside out when you hear something. It, if it's a piece about pain, like Rachmaninoff, it will heal you. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah. I think we could write a better way. Yeah, I'm with you on that. And how great is this that, like already like needs to jump on my meeting right now. I'm doing my
all right.
But this is amazing, like that we can have this intimate experience with something that's been created by someone else. And it's clear to me that we should do it again. I need to jump on my in right now, but we're planning to have like a bit shorter conversation, but I cannot get over it literally. So I absolutely loved it and thought we to connect with you again outside of
Hey,
the social media world and here again. Thank you very much for your time, for your energy, and for your wisdom.
yes, you're very welcome. Thank you for your kind energy and your presence. Have a great lesson. We'll talk outside. All right. Take care.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.